we can put them broadly. Ghanaian workers are concerned about their low wages. Wage is one big concern of workers. It stands alone. And then that is the family budget. It's not meant for the worker alone. So it's when wages are low, then of course it affects the entire well-being of the family. So wages is one. The other one has to do with which we call other conditions of service. The worker must sleep somewhere and comes to work. And if you look at today, the accommodation challenges facing workers in Ghana is so huge. Workers today have been driven out of their work environment. If you look at all the houses, the places like you talk about rich cantonments, all those places were meant to house workers. Today, all those areas have been sold to private people, and workers are now living as far as Nsawam, Kasua, Dodua. You talk about Michelle Camp, even that's a Tema area. So accommodation is a very huge thing for workers. Then the other one has to do with participation in workers. In decision making at the workplace. Given the type of the nature of work today, we have allowed our economy to be taken over by these foreigners who have come, and then they are treating Ghanaians like they are commodities. Workers are not commodities. Workers. So certainly, that is what is happening.
I see.
And so these are the major things that are facing Ghanaians.
Now, some workers have blamed you, the union leaders, and suggested that the last time you had the opportunity to meet with the president of the day, you agreed to 10% of salary increment because we're told that the whole country needs to bounce back, etc. They say you could have done more than that. What do you say to that?
Well, certainly, I think it's a legitimate concern. If you look at the 10%, 10% cannot be any increment that will be able to support the Ghanaian worker. But, we also have to appreciate that we are negotiating in context. And when we talk about context, no. I'm trying to enter here and then the police are.
Oh, sorry about that.
Please, I will talk with you. I am the union, and they don't want to go, and I'm going to do the place is true. No. I have come out and I've come in and gone out. I know them. Yes, I have. Okay.
I see. The policeman is refusing to allow you to enter.
No, I have. Why?
I see.
It's our day. This is the power of the union.
Mm-hmm.
It's our day. Yes.
I see. So wrap up for me there. Then, so 10% you could have gotten more, but why did you not push for more?
You're not forget me. Go. Yeah. Hello. Okay. So so we indeed actually accepted the 10%, not because it was satisfactory, but of course it is also part of our contribution, to the economy. Now, when we sacrifice this way, we expect our leaders, our managers to also sacrifice, But if after sacrificing by taking only 10%, they live a life that is not recognizing that the economy is difficult, then of course that is where we get disappointed. But as workers, we have always been contributing to the building of this economy. We contribute fiscally, we contribute economically. We also, even to the peril of our life, we do contribute to keep this country moving forward.
I see. Mr. Kari, I want to thank you very much indeed, and happy Workers' Day to all the members of GAU. We're grateful.
And I'm sorry for the disruption.
Don't worry. It's part of it. Our radio is realism and relativity, so we will listen to it.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
You,
Dr. Joseph Obing is the Chief Servant at GUTA, Ghana Union of Traders Association. Doc, good morning and happy Workers' Day to you.
Good morning.
What thoughts are running through your mind today as we celebrate Workers' Day one more time?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate our labor force, the country, for whatever effort they are doing to sustain productivity in the country. But then also, I want us to use the event or the occasion to ponder or reflect upon our labor force and what they are able to do in terms of productivity and regenerating employment. I think employment is stagnant, productivity is stagnant. We are not able to regenerate wealth through our labor force as we can see in the economy. So this is the area that we have to think about. How are we going to evaluate this to see how our labor force can turn all these things around? For me, it is important that we put it on the scale to see how the performances have been. We have been celebrating our labor force all this time, and we are not even comparing it with productivity and all that. It doesn't augur well. We have to see whether the demands of wage increase and all that commensurate with the productivity that we so seek, the wealth generation that we seek. For me, that is important. How are we going to give some ethics or try to provide some skills, all these things that will make sure, because I've always said that the Ghanaian labor force are unemployable because they lack so many things, including the ethics that I was talking about,
right,
and then the skills that they need to enhance on productivity. We have to think through, and so that we make the labor force very active in order to generate the wealth. Because we always talk about motivation,
right,
and that the incentives that we have to give them for them to work, and then they will seek increase in payment and all that.
Right.
That is never being benchmarked with the productivity that they turn. If we do not do that and make sure that they turn out to produce before they can also demand something, then we will just be dancing around the circle.
But are your people, your constituency, ready to learn the skills that you say are absent so that they are at par with other labor forces out there in the world so that they could earn more?
In our thought, what is needed is that we, the employers, we, the owners of the business, are training them on entrepreneurship. And this thing, they get it for free because they learn under us, the trading that we do, the manufacturing that we do, and other things. What is left with them is how to even learn the ethics of working. So I've always said that the moral fiber of the Ghanaian society have broken. That they do not think about making sure that the work should grow before they get their worth. They always think about their pocket, and then the stealing and other things that go to undermine businesses is just too much. And that our workforce or our labor need orientation. You see, so if you ask any business owner, these are the things that they are going to talk about, the work ethics, and the fact that they are not there for the business, but to line up their own pockets, whether business is booming or not.
Final one to you, from taxation to production. Is it still a reality? How soon can it be rolled out? And what do we need to be thinking about in terms of trying to roll that out?
You cannot overtax your you cannot overtax the produce of your industries, and that is not how to go. The outcome of your productivity should be competitive, because we are in a competitive world, and that if you overprice the produce that comes of production because of excessive taxation and all that, it means that we are out. You shoot yourself in the foot. And so we do everything. You look at the recent increase in the electricity tariff of 14-point-something% and all that. It doesn't augur well. It shoots industrialization efforts by government in the foot. And it doesn't help, because any investor that you try to woo to Ghana first demands the cost of the unit cost of electricity, and if you mention it, then they back out. They shout sometimes, and wonder why industries can survive. When you talk about taxes, it's the same. The duties that you pay for your raw materials and all that. These all do not augur well, because at the end of the day, the outcome of your production will be overpriced, and you are not competitive to sell. And so, because we are not working, trading in isolation, we are trading with our neighbors. So let's think about even the Continental Free Trade Area. How is Ghana benefiting? We are not benefiting much as against our peers somewhere in the Eastern, Southern, or the Northern Africa, because they are well competitive, and then it overshadows that of us.
Right. Thank you so much indeed, Dr. Joseph Obeng of Guta. We're grateful. And one more time, happy Workers' Day to you. From him, let's go now straight to Austin Gama. Is a labor consultant and an expert, and he's not new to this platform. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Good morning and happy Workers' Day to you.
Same to you, Johnny.
Great. Uncle, the first two of our panelists that I spoke with, that's Mr. Edward Kariwe of GAU and Dr. Joseph Obeng, seem to agree on a number of issues in terms of low wages, accommodation problems for workers, 10% that, was increased by the government of the day. They also talk about the employable skills that are lacking and people stealing from businessmen, and then also the high levels of taxes and the issues that will go into the production. Can we ever get out of these matters and start focusing on what will give us the productivity that we're looking for to sustain our businesses?
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to all working people, both employers and workers at any level. Tons of congratulations. I am trusting that next year by this time when we are speaking, it will be a different story altogether. Now, it appears to me we have a certain tradition in Ghana that we are not moving away from. We focus on yesterday too much. We all go to church, as many people, and we sing a song. Yesterday is gone. We are in another day. And yet, when we get together, we harp only on yesterday. You see, I was sharing with a friend of mine who is a lecturer at Cape Coast University a few years ago, that I think that we have to change our teaching methodology. If you are teaching and you keep on dwelling on SWOT analysis, such as strengths and weaknesses,
opportunities and threats.
The weakness and threats, I can't marry it. We are living in a world of rapidly changing technologies, and therefore we have to reset our mind also about how we can change our ways of learning and teaching. You see, why don't you focus on our strengths? What are we doing well? How can we do it better? How can we do it best? How can we be excellent in it? How can we partner with other people of like mind, within and without, to produce more, generate more, and have leaders who are virtually incorruptible to lead this nation and to lead our various workplaces and so forth and so on. So I think that, yes, there is opportunity. We have a lot of opportunity. What we are doing so far, that is the standard we have. Can we do it better? Yes. Can we do it excellent? It can grow as a nation and as working people. So we can, once we produce more, it means there is more income to go around. We can expand our businesses to employ more. We can earn more and good pension. I mean, that's the whole thing.
But where do we begin from? You have mentioned the classroom, the SWOT analysis, and how we need to change the methodology, pedagogy of teaching. But we have also always spoken about the gap between industry and the academia. I mean, unionists have mentioned it. You have had lecturers say same. You have had employers say same. But it doesn't look like that symbiotic relationship is getting any better. Or am I wrong?
Not entirely wrong, but we don't have, let's be very honest, and I must be open with all apology to everybody listening to you and I. We don't have too many people. Once a while, after some 30 years or so, God grant us grace, we have one genius person around. We are all not the same. The figures are not the same. Yes, it's happening. I myself, I teach those doing masters at Legon, those doing industrial relations in Legon, those doing masters.
Right.
And I teach them practical things, something that is not in any book, something that is not available, something that is not on the menu, because I've had a stint in from Gold Coast to Ghana. I've seen so many things. I've listened to my parents. I've kept some of the notes, and I connect it to today and realize that no, we are lagging behind. So I've opened up, even though I'm reasonably of age. This year I'll be 76.
Congratulations.
Yet, thank you. Yet I go and teach for 3 hours non-stop and give them, a lot of exercises and support, and even do a follow-up with some of them as individuals in my own consultancy, so that they can become better. I don't need to know anybody to be of help to the person.
Right.
I don't care where you come from. So I think that is important. Industry players who think they have the capacity to offer something, we should not wait till we all depart and the country is left vulnerable. Because the world is changing, and it's rapidly changing, minute by minute. And so if we want to be part of the world, and our people should not be too eager talking about we want to be paid the whole world income. No, we should not be too eager.
Right.
We should be very eager about how can we be productive, and the employers must be honest to share with us part of the profits. That is what we must do.
Now, there's also the concern about the age of retirement. You talk about experience and the wealth of it. There's a concern about the age of retirement. There are two sides to the coin, whether it should be reduced from the present 60 to 55 or whether it should be increased from the present 60 to 70. What are your thoughts, sir?
Well, to be honest with you, I am not a fan of that call. We have a growing youthful population that are very eager to also work. I can see the government trying to create opportunity, like was done yesterday, for people to be able to become masters of their own, but it's also employment. They can veer off into the public sector or the private sector as well, not only the informal so-called sector. That said, we should not be eager to increase the retirement age to 70. I form part of the team that wrote the pension scheme. So we did a little study, including a actuarial study, to be sure that the 60 years, if someone should work for even 15 years, and we are very productive as a nation and as a unit, we can still pay people a fair amount of money during pension time. So I don't think that people who are very eager, demanding that they should we should have an increase in the population, in the age, they should stop from saying that. They should stop it completely. As I've told you, I am of age and I'm working. I'm very active. Everybody should learn to take good care of himself, not to be open to indulging in things that they may not be able to make even some savings. They may not be able to keep their families, intact and keep on working until the day you die. Keep on working. You don't have to retire.
Right.
And you must be on your own. When you retire, the assumption is that you have gained tremendous experience. So they must open up and learn, generate the skills, keep it up, and when you retire, you can still offer service to the nation, not because you want contract, but because you can set up your own small unit and offer services and help the youth. You will still earn some income out of it.
Right.
I don't need to be a burden on society. Or what I think I know is needed anywhere in the world. I go to Virgin Islands University to teach a faculty of people. Today, I do that. So why should people be bereft of ideas until when they retire, they have become a burden on society and themselves? I don't think so. Unless you are not healthy. If you are not healthy, and even that, pray and trust God that you will be able to live I don't drink. I don't drink for 55 years. I've never taken an alcoholic beverage. Neither do I know any woman outside my wife. And therefore, you must keep a healthy, simple life and don't become a burden on yourself and the society when you retire. I don't think we should increase it. We should maintain the system.
Speaking of being a burden on society, you find people go to work, they retire at 60, and then they get to the bank, they are giving what used to be the lump sum, and then they sit down and some weep uncontrollably. How do we fix that so that while the worker is busy working every day, waking up, staying through traffic, bad roads, etc., doesn't come to the point where after serving his or her motherland, will now sit down to weep uncontrollably? How do we control that?
To be honest with you, we have opportunities in Ghana. We are not taking advantage of it. The pension thing I mentioned, that's why we introduced the second tier. That's why we introduced the third tier. If they are working, if we are all contributing our quota, and SNIT is doing, I think they are rediscovering themselves. If they can invest wisely, if the board of directors that would be on the SNIT board would put together very credible objectives and strategies and get the working people to be productive and not just put people there to be paying themselves, but would do a good job and pay themselves also well. I think that with the second tier, which is also mandatory, if employers will be honest in paying the money that is due the working people to the fund managers, and they will also invest it wisely, when the people retire, they will not become a burden. Because our study shows that even a laborer, even at the time we were writing the pension scheme in 2006, thereabout, even a laborer who earned just the barest minimum would have been taking a lump sum of 10,000 cedis after 15 years contribution. So people can earn well if they retire. And when you collect the money, don't go and sit down with some useless girl at a motor joint and misuse the money and drink Guinness and beer and apatashi. And then when you finish, you go and become a burden on your wife and the rest of your children. Let's be honest, and it means our churches also have a part to play. They must teach people in the church how to be morally upright, spiritually strong, emotionally intelligent enough and matured to be a responsible person when you come on retirement, and not just looking up to government to provide you everything. We cannot be a society like that.
Now, again, the conversation about the age of retirement, and sometimes when it's people are due for retirement, they say, "Oh, we want a contract extension because there's something that I went to learn at conference A and B that must be passed on to the people." Then in another instance, say, "Okay, well, this person has some expertise that we don't have an immediate replacement for." But then you find also that some say, "Oh, Charlie, I haven't finished my project, so I want like 2 years so I can stay here and finish my project." I'm sure these things have come onto your table many times as a labor consultant. Again, how do we scale this hurdle?
Well, to be honest with you, I see people who collect their lump sum and some kind of benefit from SNIT and now begin to use it to buy land and to start projects which gets to halfway, and they live in uncompleted buildings for the rest of their life. And when they finish, their children are unable to continue. They are forced to sell it to somebody at a cheap cost, and they themselves are on the way to dying. So the reality is that, again, education. We must train our people now. I am invited often to prepare people for retirement. But employers should not wait when people are 6 months to retirement before they start preparing them. Start preparing the people from day one they start working, so that they will learn to either save, they will learn to put money together instead of wasting it on frivolous and useless things. They will learn to put the money together no matter what it is. Gradually, they'll be able to buy a piece of land. Gradually, they'll be able to start life and building. By the time they are of age to come on retirement, they would have finished their 2 or 3 bedroom house. And they will not be a begging on their children and the society at large. So I think sometimes maybe the people they engage. People think that you must only go to a certain professor, so and so. I believe in them. They are nice people. They are doing well.
Right.
But we have varying experiences. Get people who have lived a certain kind of life and who are available to assist you to be able to research your own agenda and live a prosperous life as you wait for your time.
Mr. Ozingame, we thank you very much indeed, Big Uncle, for your thoughts and nuggets of wisdom this morning. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you,
I'm
sir.
Grateful.
And happy 75th in advance to you.
Thank you. God bless.
Yes, sir.